Hey everybody, it's Captain Matt, Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon, and today I wanted to talk about where boat loan rates are going. We're just heading into October 2023, and the National Marine Lender Association had their annual conference in Hilton Head just a couple of days ago on Monday and Tuesday, the 25th and 26th. I got a little download from the conference, and I wanted to pass that information along because I know if you're thinking about buying a boat now and you're thinking about financing, you want to know where are the rates going. So let's take a look at some of the information that I discovered. This is Gina Martin Adams, and she is an economist, the global head of portfolio strategy and chief equity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence. So very smart, very dialed in. And she was talking about what the Fed is going to be doing with the Fed fund rate. If you're not aware, the Fed fund rate is the rate that the government, the Federal Reserve, lends money to banks overnight so that they can keep within their appropriate limits and assets on hand. What the overall consensus is that the Fed is likely to raise the Fed fund rate one more time in the next 6 months or so. Okay, so they also are expecting that we're not going to see any easing of that Fed fund rate, bringing it down. Remember, they ratcheted up and up and up, and that's not a direct correlation to the interest rates going up on boat loans, personal loans, mortgages, but there's a connection. Okay, it's not a direct correlation, but they do have a relationship that's important. So if the Fed fund rate gets lifted another quarter, we can expect boat loans to go up slightly as well. Something to think about if you are considering financing. And this is you can see some of the articles that are out there as well. Fed signal higher for longer rates with hikes almost finished. So almost finished means we've probably got a little bit more, and higher for longer means we're not going to see any easing in the monetary policy for a while. So I wanted to look at what do some of the rates look like that are out there right now. These are just from bankrate.com, and you can see Lightstream is at just 8% plus, 8.5% plus, 7.75% plus, 9% plus for SoFi. So I'm curious, if you bought a boat recently and you financed, what was your boat loan rate and when did you get it? Share some of those data points that could be valuable for people to know where things are, and we know likely where they're going to go. It's a prediction, but it should be pretty close. I know a lot of folks look at tapping into their equity. If you're like me, our home value has gone up considerably in the past 5 years. So I looked at by zip code. If you look at the famous 90210 zip code, it's an easy California one to remember. Perfect credit, 780 plus, 50% equity. So I said a primary residence of 200,000, a loan amount of 100,000, 8.39% is the APR, 7.87 is the rate. So there's some fees in there as well. I checked in the Midwest in Nebraska, and there were no lenders that were willing to do a second mortgage. Again, 780 credit, the same loan to value ratios, 200,000 with the $100,000 loan. There was nobody that came up there. And then we found in South Carolina, in my zip code here, the rate was 7.5 with an APR of 7.99. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's out there on the highest level of credit. Now, obviously, there's marine lenders. They're going to be in similar ballparks. I'm hearing from high sixes to eights is kind of the range that you're expecting with 10% down. So another thing that came out at the conference was repos. I know a lot of people were predicting that after the subsidies and after the COVID money went away, that we were going to see just a spike in repossessions. Well, that's kind of coming into play. We're seeing on loan amounts less than 100,000, we're seeing higher than normal repossession rates. So people not able to make the payments, turning them back in. But on loan amounts over 100,000, everything's in the normal range. So you would imagine the higher the loan amount, probably the more financially stable they are, maybe the more reserves that they have. Where under the 100,000, maybe they had $1,000 a month is all they had, And then as food prices, as gas prices, as the cost of living has gone up, it's eaten into their fund money budget, and now those boats loans are defaulting. So something to be on the lookout for is there's probably going to be some repossessed boats coming to the market. Now, they come with their own problems, because if they didn't have the money to pay the loan, they certainly didn't have the money to maintain it properly. So there's some of those repossessed boats have issues associated with them, right? But that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on as we go forward is, hey, do we see more and more repos? I know on the auto end, I know the consensus is repossessions are going much, much higher. We're not seeing it on the home market as far as I'm aware, but I thought that was interesting. So here are some of the predictions that are coming out of that conference, and my spin on it is expect boat loan rates to increase sometime after the next couple of Fed meetings, whether it's October 31st or December 13th, but expect to see that quarter increase to the Fed fund rate, which will likely cause the boat loan rates to go up as well. Boat loan rates will start to come down slowly once they do their monetary easing, once they start bringing those interest rates down for the Fed fund rate, assuming they do that. That's sort of the consensus by the experts that are smarter than me in Q3, Q4 of 2024. If that inflation is coming down and we're seeing the economy kind of settle in with all of the weird stuff that's been going on with the inflation that's hit everybody, with what's going to happen with the elections, what's going to happen with gas prices, what's going to happen with the employment numbers and the income numbers, what people are making. So that's probably July or so. If everything goes as expected, we could start see the Fed fund rate come down, which will likely bring the boat loans rates down midway through the season. Now, if you're looking at buying a boat and you want to see what does the rate look like for me, we've got some partner lenders that we work with. Tell us a little about your situation, and we'll match you with a partner lender that is not only going to give you a competitive rate, but they're picked based on your information. So we try to match you with who we think is going to be the best one for your situation, for the best overall terms, as well as outstanding service during the transaction, because you don't want to lose a deal. You don't want to be stressed out because the paperwork's not ready, because they messed something up, and you lose an opportunity. But these lenders are very good, and if they don't adhere to a certain standard, they're out of the network. So it's something that you can check out at boatersecretweapon.com/loan. It's totally free. We'll get you matched up. If you're looking to buy a boat, grab that Boat Buyers Toolkit at boatbuyerstoolkit.com. Give us a thumbs up if it was valuable, and remember, life truly is better on a boat.